If you choose to live abroad, you're bound to get transition shock. For some, it's going to be the growing pain of always and forever being treated as an other. For others, it's going to be the months or even years before you can see your family again. Everybody's got their thing, your humble narrator included. And while I did prepare for the language and the culture, what I just wasn't ready for, mentally, was China's lack of Taco Bell. It is the thing that I miss most. Those fluorescent lit dining rooms, those vaguely Tex Mex offerings of mystery meat of unknown provenance, they're just burned into my limbic system. I'd be lying if I said that I hadn't, at times, woken up in teary cold sweats, dreaming of those gorditas, crunch wraps, and churros. I have a hole in my heart, and it's shaped like Taco Bell. So just imagine my elation at hearing the news that after a decade-long hiatus, Taco Bell announced it would finally be reopening in the Chinese market. Foreigner communities were abuzz. And on June 3rd, 2020, to much fanfare here in Guangdong, Taco Bell opened its Shenzhen location. And the result? Well, the best I can describe the experience of Taco Bell China is like when your favorite book gets adapted to the screen and everything's just off. This was not the Taco Bell of my dreams. It was a mutant, a simulacrum. It feels like Taco Bell corporate took their reputation as food for the not sober a bit too literally and rebranded as a sit-down, up-to-mid-market bar and restaurant with a slight hipster aesthetic. There's draft beer, there's cocktails and espressos. You order everything by phone using a little QR code. The menu got a hatchet to it. In place of chalupas, they've got french fries, fried ribs, basically bar food minus the burgers. Even Taco Bell fire sauce was nowhere to be found. In its place, they've got sriracha mayo. Because, of course. But even in the midst of my cloud of disappointment, there was a glimmer of hope. As soon as I took one bite of their crunchy taco, I was immediately teleported back to everything that I loved and remembered about Taco Bell. So in spite of their callous betrayal, I don't wish any ill against Taco Bell China. I do not want them to fail. To the contrary, they have to succeed. Now, I'm not blind to the ways of the world. See, Yum Brand China's MO is adaptation. After all, this is the same company that got rich turning Pizza Huts into sit-down restaurants and selling Macanese egg tarts at KFC. I'm not against adaptation, I just think that they need to do it smarter. See, the critical error in their analysis was to think of Taco Bell as drinking food. It's not, it's drunk food, a crucial difference. Allow me to explain. You see, what most people consider drinking or drunk foods is actually a broad classification of three distinct categories of food. First, there's the food that you eat before you start drinking heavily, stuff to fill you up. Burgers, fancy gastropub fare, feasts of Sichuan food, and the like. Second, there's the food that you eat as you're drinking heavily. This stuff is usually light, salty, stuff like peanuts, smashed cucumber, chuan chuan, this kind of thing. And lastly, there's the food that you consume in a haze at 2 a.m. after you're already blasted. Taco Bell is in this third category. So for a Chinese equivalent, I think you'd need to explore the world of late-night street snacks. These can span from the sublime, like road jammies or Hunan stinky tofu, to more basic fare like just some random deep-fried stuff. This is the space that Taco Bell China needs to compete in. And to prove it, we've reformulated one of the most classic northern Chinese street snacks, Jianbing Batter, to use nothing but Taco Bell fillings. And the end result is a tour de force, a perfect fit for both Taco Bell and Jianbing. So, to get started with your Taco Bell Jianbing, you're going to need Jianbing Batter. Simple enough, just mix 180 grams all-purpose flour together with 60 grams of cornmeal, 60 grams Mungbean flour, 1 teaspoon 5-spice powder, 1 teaspoon salt, and 420 grams of water. Definitely don't skip the Mungbean flour here though. For whatever reason, Mungbean flour is the critical ingredient that lets the jianbing actually form and not stick. Mix well, and set that aside. Next up, some homemade Taco Bell meat. Now, a good chunk of this copycat recipe is courtesy of Josh from the channel Mythical Kitchen, but I did have a couple disagreements with his approach. See, everybody in the world knows that Taco Bell beef is only like 80% beef, the rest being water and thickeners. So, over there, Josh stewed his mince and thickened at the end, with the end result being a loose sort of beef slop. But, taking a closer look, I don't think Taco Bell's beef is actually that saucy. I believe that the water and the starch is added before cooking, not after. I think what we're looking at is an emulsified meat mixture, a la chicken nuggets or Chinese meatballs. So luckily, we've actually gone over emulsified beef mixtures on this channel before. So today, we're going to be going for the ever-so-rare cultural appropriation hat trick and basing the broad strokes of our Taco Bell meat off of Cantonese dim sum beef balls. So, here we're using 400 grams of beef loin and 100 grams of pork belly, finally dicing each one up, then grabbing a pair of cleavers and just going at it. And while you could just use a food processor here, we strongly believe that food processors are for cowards and milksops, and that nobody really wants to have to clean one anyhow. So then, after a quick 5-minute chop or so, transfer that now pasty meat over to a mixing bowl. Then just add in 5 grams of salt together with 30 grams of water and give that a quick stir, or until the water is completely absorbed. Then season with a 1/4 teaspoon each garlic powder, onion powder, and MSG, a 1/2 teaspoon cumin powder that I forgot to film, 1/2 teaspoon sugar, 1/2 teaspoon cocoa powder, 1/2 teaspoon Spanish smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon Mexican chili powder, a couple cracks of black pepper, and 10 grams of chopped oats. Taco Bell actually adds those oats in order to give things a bit of texture. And interestingly, we've also actually seen the same approach before in a few different Cantonese meat cake recipes. Then mix 15 grams of water chestnut starch in with another 30 grams of water and a tablespoon half of tomato paste. Add that mix to the beef, stir it all real well, and set that aside. Now to fry the filling. In a nonstick with a spritz of oil, toss in your meat mixture and start to break it up. See, unlike most Chinese meat emulsions where you want everything to combine together into a springy uniform whole, here we're looking to separate it into something a bit more ground beefy, and I find Japanese-style chopsticks to be an effective tool for the job. Then once it's mostly broken up, continue to chop at the remaining clumps with a spatula, and after about 6 minutes or so in all, your beef should be looking pretty Taco Belly. Then just add in about 3 tablespoons of water together with a teaspoon of dark soy sauce, and mix that to your desired consistency. And with that, we've got some meat that I'm pretty sure hits what I remember at least from Taco Bell. So then, back to the Jianbing. As we went over in our original Jianbing video, this does take some special equipment, so if you'd like to see an adapted to a Western kitchen version of the same thing, do check out My Name is Andong's excellent video on the topic. See, the secret to a good Jianbing is even heating. So for us at home, this means the largest cast iron pan you own, lift it up from your flame so as not to develop hot spots. So with your pan preheated up to about 100 centigrade, pour roughly 1/4 of your batter in and spread it evenly, hitting it with an extra spoonful or two to patch up any spots that you missed. Then, just crack open an egg, and we like 2, and break it up, spreading it over your pancake together with an optional bit of black sesame seeds. And now, just let that cook. On the street, they can pump these out a bit faster, but because we're at home with this setup, it'll take about 5 minutes or so over a medium-high heat until it's ready to flip. You'll know it's done once the edges curl up a bit and you can scrape it off without any stickage. So then flip and arrange your Jianbing. Now just brush on some Taco Bell fire sauce, which according to our research can be mimicked with a mix of hot sauce and tomato paste, together with a dollop or 2 of sour cream. Then sprinkle over a bit of cheese. Here we're using a cheapo mystery quote-unquote Mexican cheese blend in order to best mimic Taco Bell, and spoon on your meat. Then once the cheese is all melted, toss on a bit of diced onion, tortilla chips, diced tomatoes, and of course a veritable mountain of lettuce. Fold it over, slice it in half, and with that, you've got yourself a Taco Bell Jianbing, the evolution Taco Bell should have, and still can, have in China.
Okay, alright. So, Taco Bell Jianbing. Let's give it a try first. It's huge. Yeah. So I actually don't know what Taco Bell tastes like. When we're in the US, we always go for the authentic Mexican food, so I never tried Taco Bell. But I really like this one. It's very tasty. And I don't think Taco Bell China is gonna make this stuff. But KFC China, I know you're watching, and do this, please. You are bringing back the Mexican chicken roll anyway, so might as well make a Mexican Jianbing, right? It's really on brand for you guys. So check out the recipe in the description box. And we know this is kind of a silly one, but it's for fun and happy April Fool's Day. We have a legit recipe coming in about 3 days, so stay tuned. Oh, and big thank you for everyone that's supporting us on Patreon. And don't forget to subscribe for more Chinese cooking videos.